Greetings, everyone. Today is September 11th, 2022, and I'm so excited to welcome each of you here for our RBWPH Mental Health Symposium. On a day like September 11th, that's normally when we think about grief and loss, right? It is a beautiful occasion for us to gather to talk about mental health. It's one of the conversations in our community that we don't talk about enough. And so when we started the Roberta Baines Wheeler Pulmonary Hypertension Awareness Group, and we said we want to increase awareness of pulmonary hypertension and build healthier communities, we come with the understanding that mental health is health. And as soon as we deconstruct the notion that it's something that's isolated, we can begin to have more candid conversations. I want to say thank you to our scholars of the Dr. Catherine Y. Brown or KYB Leadership Academy, who committed to leading today's program and endeavor. A, it's not easy to plan a program from scratch, but B, to have a topic that is this complex. They have worked hard to present to you today two dynamic thought leaders, content experts who are going to share from their hearts and empower us. And for that, I say thank you to our speakers. Thank you to each of you. And please, if you hear something today that resonates with you, use our hashtag and share it on social media, because we have to continue to promote mental health in our communities. Without further ado, I'm excited to turn the program over to KYB leader, Alexa Williams, and she will introduce the next person, but I do want to give a shout out to KYB leader, Tanaya Abernathy, and all of our KYB leaders who are on. I see you all. And we also have a guest, cohort 4 is represented. So I see Sadia Bell. And if you all could just do me a favor, put your cohort numbers in the chat, because it's always beautiful for guests to see all the different cohorts represented. So thank you all so much. And I'll turn it over to you, Alexa Williams.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 2022 RBW Mental Health Symposium. I am KYB leader Alexa Williams and a member of the 29th cohort of Dr. Catherine Y. Brown Leadership Academy. Founded in 2012, we remain committed to increasing awareness of pulmonary hypertension while also building healthier communities. On behalf of my mentor, Dr. Catherine Y. Brown, and our RBW Executive Director, Sydney Y.K. Brown, I bring you greetings on behalf of the RBW PH Awareness Group. Today, you are in for a treat. You will hear from our amazing speakers on the theme Awareness, Empowerment, and Hope. RBW PH Awareness Group mantra states, Awareness, Empowerment, Hope. Together, we can make a difference. At this time, I would like to introduce you to Tanaya Abernathy, President of KYB Leadership Academy at Tennessee State University.
Hi, everyone. I am Tanaya Abernathy, and as President of KYB Leadership Academy at Tennessee State University, I'm excited you decided to join us today to learn more about KYB Leadership Academy and the importance of maintaining positive mental health. KYB Leadership Academy is sponsored by the Roberta Baines Wheeler Pulmonary Hypertension Awareness Group, a 501c3 nonprofit organization who was founded on November 8, 2012. RBWPH Awareness Group is named after Roberta Baines Wheeler, a nurse of 40 years who was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension and later advocated for PH awareness. The mission of KYB Leadership Academy is to build the capacity for global leadership while increasing the awareness of pulmonary hypertension. Today, there are over 250 KYB leaders nationally and internationally, locations including Tennessee, Michigan, Illinois, Virginia, Indiana, Georgia, California, Colombia, South Africa, Nigeria, Turks and Caicos Islands as well. KYB at Tennessee State University was the second campus-based collegiate chapter of KYB, and we are honored that our organization continues to grow each day. If you are interested in joining KYB Leadership Academy, please email this email that I will leave in the chat below.
What I most enjoy about being a member of KYB Leadership Academy is the opportunity to do community service with RBW PH Awareness Group. I enjoy helping this amazing nonprofit organization fulfill its mission. Through my volunteerism, I've been able to serve over hundreds of people in the community by providing education that they otherwise may have not had access to. I hope that after today, you will also be inspired to join KYB and also volunteer by RBW. The RBW PH Awareness Group held its first RBW Mental Health Symposium on the campus of Fisk University on September 9, 2018. It has been held here since that time, September 9, 2019, virtually September 13, 2022, and virtually September 19, 2021. Today, September 11, 2022, is virtual and another historic moment for us. Today is an important day. Not just because it's our 5th year hosting this event, but it also allows us to discuss a topic that is much needed in the community, nationally and internationally. We strategically planned this signature program during National Suicide Prevention Month as a reminder of the importance of discussing mental health. I want you to remember 3 words and 1 sentence today. So please repeat after me. Awareness, empowerment, hope. Together, we can make a difference. We began the RBW PH Awareness Group Mental Health Symposium as a way to build awareness, empowerment, and hope, because we know that together we can make a difference. Mental health is something that we often do not talk about, but is considered health. Mental health is a part of that health. RBW's mission is to build capacity for global leadership while also building healthier communities. With that being said, we are honored that you are part of community commitment by being here today. Even as we come out of the COVID-19 pandemic and enter concerns of monkeypox, we remain committed to promoting mental health in our community. At this time, we would love for you all to take pictures. Please pull out your phones and take a selfie and post it to your social media by using the following hashtags, KYB Leadership and RBWPH Group. Once you post these pictures and tag us on social media, you will enter into a giveaway for our Amazon gift card. So please take your time to post today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the RBW Mental Health Symposium. Today, I'm so excited that I have the honor of introducing our first speaker. During this session, each panelist will speak on the topics of awareness, empowerment, and hope in order which they are introduced. Our time together is about supporting each other, being transparent, learning about resources, and recognizing the importance of good mental health. If you hear something, be sure to post the quote on social media or just tag us on our social media pages with the RBWPH group hashtag or the KYBD leadership hashtag, as this helps us meet our goal today for RBWPH Awareness Group awareness, empowerment, and hope. Together we can make a difference. At this time, I'm excited to lead the introductions of our distinguished speakers. Our first panelist, Tina Abernathy, has been married to her high school sweetheart for over 29 years. She is the mother of 3 crazy, amazing, world-changing young adults who attended Vanderbilt University and TSU. Her motto as a mother is to bloom where you're planted. If God has you there, you are there for a reason, so bloom there. Tina Abernathy earned a bachelor's degree in business and marketing from Southeast Missouri State and worked in corporate America for 10 years as a senior claims adjuster for the State Farm. In 2001, Tina started a leadership and personal development company in St. Louis with her husband. Their business success allowed her to retire from the corporate world in 2003 to be a full-time first lady, mother, and entrepreneur. Tina enjoys reading and cooking and mentoring individuals on how to prosper in their faith, family, and financial lives. She has been asked to teach thousands of people across the United States, Bahamas, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Her passion is educating and equipping women and girls to walk in their God-ordained roles and to live a life of excellence. Her dedication and service recently earned her an honorary doctorate degree from the United Theological Seminary and Religious Education. So it is without further ado that I introduce you, Tina Abernathy.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Tanaya Abernathy, for that phenomenal introduction. I truly appreciate it. It's so funny that you read that because you know me better than anybody on this symposium today. But you guys, I am super excited to be here. I want to give a huge shout out to your KYB leader, Alexa Williams, in her professionalism and reaching out to me, making sure that I knew what was happening, providing me with the Zoom link, etc. And as things changed, she also kept me up to date on things that were going on. So to both Tanaya and Alexa, I say keep leading, keep blooming right where you are planted. You are doing a phenomenal job. And to all the panelists that will speak later, I get to kick it off, and I'm so glad I do because there are no letters behind my name. You know, there are no fabulous degrees in front of my name, the side of my name, nothing. But you see how I entered my name. First wife, mompreneur. I'm a first lady at a church. I am a mother and I love being a mother. I am a wife and I am an entrepreneur. And so my whole goal in life, I know my purpose in life, I know is to encourage, equip, and empower women and young girls to live a God-ordained life and to chase down excellence. Is anybody here today interested in excellence? If you are, give me a Z-snap. Okay, ain't nobody interested in excellence. Oh, okay, it was late. It's a little delay in my Zoom, and that's okay. And if I couldn't see your Z-snap, then you know what, Betty, Elaine, Ebony, and all of you who don't have your cameras on, man, I love leveraging technology. I do. I love it. Now, I don't like technology. It's my future strength, but I love leveraging technology. But we can't see your faces, so we don't know if we're connecting with you. We can't see your faces, and I know that's normal for your classes and all that, but this is not a class. This is a symposium where we're going to talk about awareness, empowerment, hope, and together we can make a difference. So if we can't see your eyes, we can't see your face, we don't know if we're making a difference or not. So go ahead and turn those cameras on. Don't worry about if you got a bonnet on, you don't have no lipstick on, your hair ain't together. Because trust me, I do not normally look like this. I did this for y'all. Okay, so that's a little time just to give you a chance to turn your cameras on and really engage with us today. I'm so excited to be here today and talk about this idea of mental health. And I could start in so many areas, but really, because of who I am, I want us to take a look at this thing, not so much from the idea of a diagnosis and things like that. My perspective today is to take my 10 minutes or 15 or less, and really let's look at it in a simple form. Some things that maybe we can talk about today and get an idea of. See, that's technology, not trying to do what I wanted to do. Did y'all hear that? It's okay. It's not clicking forward. But let's take a look today on looking at what is mental health. You know, what is it? When I was, looking it up, there's so many things that we could talk about. But really, in a nutshell, mental health includes how you emotionally feel about yourself, so internal, how you feel about your life, external, and then others, how you feel about what's going on socially. And so since today I'm speaking mostly with college students, young African-American, beautiful Black college students. And remember, if you don't have your camera on and you are not African-American Black, I don't know that. So I'm not trying to exclude you. I'm just saying that's all I see. And so I'm excited to talk to you ladies about that today. But here's the thing. I think it all begins, this whole idea of mental health begins with how you see you. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. I'm gonna pause for a second for emphasis. So you to think about the word you. How do you see you? Who are you internally? What do you project to the world? And what's going on with you in your social groups, on your campus, in your classes, etc. Am I making sense to anybody today? Good. That's how I know we're together. If I can get a smile, a nod, a head shake, a Z snap, unmute, amen, whatever's good for you, okay? We're just here to kind of talk a little bit. But most people don't see the world as it is. They see the world as they are. So most of us don't necessarily see the world as it is. I see it as I am. And it made me think about the idea. Remember the old tale of the guy that had Limburger cheese on his lip, but he didn't know he had Limburger cheese on his lip. And so everywhere he went, he was like, it stinks in here. And, he goes into another room. He's like, what is going on? It stinks in here. He went outside, opened the door, thought he'd get some fresh air. He opened the door, the air is blowing. He's like, it stinks outside. And that's the idea of we don't see the world as it is. We see it as we are. So if we got Limburger cheese under our nose and everything we smell stinks, we're going to see everything as if it stinks. It's not that that's how it is. It's just we're seeing it as we are. And so that's a worldly thing. But remember, go ahead and look at my name thing again. So I looked into the word. For me, that's so foundational on how I see myself. It's been so foundational on how I raise our children. It's foundational when I go out to speak into the world, whether it's a symposium like this with 20 people or Coliseum with tens of thousands. Be alert and of sober mind, because the enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. And so, ladies, I see mostly ladies on here, to be sober minded. Talking to college student, it ain't to say you ain't drinking, because I know sometimes, if that ain't your thing, that's a word like sober minded, you think of sober, alcohol, etc. No, sober minded is to think clearly. Again, we're talking about you. Think clearly about you. What do you value? What do y'all value? Somebody go ahead and chat. What do you value? And then I'm gonna go ahead at the end, based on how many times you respond in the chat, and I'm gonna give away a little something to see if y'all participating in this togetherness thing. So what do you value? Put that in there. What are some of your goals and dreams? And I really want somebody to answer this question, because remember, mental health is about your emotions and how you see yourself internally, externally, and others, meaning your social group. So some young lady on here who's under 30, go ahead and unmute and tell me one of your goals or your dreams.
I can go. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
I can hear you. Is that Janine?
Hi. Yes, so my name is Janiyah Johnson from cohort 26 on Tennessee State University's campus. And one thing that I definitely value is, just like I said in the chat, is my family, my friends, and my future, because, I'm a health science and philosophy major, and I really value the relationships that I have with my friends and my families, because I want to carry them into the future, because I am around people who I feel like will better me and lift me up. As well as, I really want to, I've always been, dedicated to health and, mental health stuff as well, because I've always wanted to aid people who have the same ailments and illnesses as me as well. And just definitely that. Yeah.
Good stuff. I hope I didn't mute myself. I didn't. Good stuff. I appreciate you sharing. I really do. I appreciate you saying. One thing that I love is you've thought about it. See, when you say you value your family, your friends, and your future, that means you've taken some time. FFF. See, I know how that works. That probably just didn't roll off your lips. You thought about it. And when you know what you value and you have your goals and dreams, sometimes just knowing those kinds of things gives you direction to keep your mind in a positive state. And so as college students, I think experiencing probably freedom for the first time, maybe being away, the freedoms of adulthood outside of your parents' home, your mental health and awareness is of great importance. It's of great importance. It's a time when you must begin to own your own thoughts, own your own values, figure out what you stand for, know where you're going, know the impact you want to leave, not only on the campus where you are when you're there, but the ripple effect of you having been there. That's what I'm talking about when we talk about knowing who you are internally. And as Jesus put it, the enemy is walking to and fro and wants to steal that from you. He wants to steal your sound mind. He wants to steal your goals, your dreams, and wants you to have values that are incongruent with who you know you are, and perhaps even who you know you're called to be. Is anybody understanding what I'm saying? I see some head nods, so that's good. So we talked a little bit about mental health internally, externally, and others. And this thing did not click when I told it to. It's okay. But how does mental health affect you? Well, much of what you guys encounter, I too encountered in my college days. It's not going anywhere. Many of the challenges aren't going anywhere. Boyfriend challenges, peer group challenges, sorority challenge, group challenge, drinking, smoking, homesick, I know y'all said ain't none of y'all homesick, whatever. Homesick, loneliness, fears and worries and pressures to perform. And those are real issues on the college campus. But let me tell you, those issues are not going to go away. So when you know who you are, you know who you are, you know whose you are, that mental health and mental awareness starts to grow roots. Meaning you start to kind of stand firm. You can't be swayed this way or that way on what you value and what you feel or what you know is you internally. And so look at some of these words on here. And somebody just talked to me about how does it affect you when you're having a negative slump, maybe in your mental health? Anybody? Does it affect your grades? Could it affect, I don't know, peer relationships?
Interactions with other goes down.
Interactions with others goes down. When you maybe don't see the world and situations as they are, but you see it as you are. Or when someone has maybe shaken how you feel about you. I don't want to say it wrong, Shiraz, is that right?
You said it right. So like with me, I get like lazy and just not productive like as I want to be.
Okay. It's real good. That's good. And being able to voice that, you know how right now it probably is somewhat of a safe space, but for you to be able to speak up and talk about how you're feeling mentally, what's going on with you, that's really important, you guys, because the issues of the world, the challenges on a college campus, they're not going anywhere. They're real issues, but I think they're magnified, and nobody wants me to say it, but I think they're magnified for many of you on here because of social media. I really do. I think they're magnified because of social media. Remember, the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and 7 days a week. He is constantly wanting you on social media, comparing yourself, seeing what's going on. Oh, I'm not up to anything. You know, attacking your acceptance, you know, really questioning yourself, shaming yourself. All of these things are amplified in your social media interactions. Well, Mrs. Abernathy, that's not necessarily true. I get on there and I understand. I understand. There's a lot of positivity out there. But when our mental health goes down, when maybe all the negative of social media starts to affect us negatively, then maybe it's time to take a social media fast. Don't nobody kick me out. Whoever in charge of Zoom, don't kick me out because I said that. But maybe it's time for a social media fast. Okay, I got one Z snap. I know she over 30, but it may be a time for social media fast. I know I said it 3 times because I want you to think about it. And guess what? After today, you can ask my husband, after today, as a 50-plus-year-old woman, I too will be taking a social media fast for the next 7 days. So I don't know, join me. If you do, hashtag first, no, I'm just kidding. I thought I'd throw that out there. That ain't real. I don't have a hashtag. But consider taking a social media fast. All right. Well, you guys, I know my time is winding up and I have more to say, but here's what I want you guys to consider doing. And I'm sure you're going to get some really good stuff after me. So we talk about looking at it internally. We talk about taking some time and looking at things externally. We talked a little bit about how maybe our mental health in a negative state can affect others in our social situations. We looked a few minutes about how when we don't know who we are or our values, or when we get shook, how that can affect everything. We didn't talk about everything, but I put it out there. It can affect everything negatively. But I want you also, for just a moment, the last couple minutes, actually, I don't have a couple minutes, but so real quickly, I just want you to think about the idea that affirmations are important. They can play a huge role in your mental health. They really can. They can play a huge role. I am a big proponent of affirmations because the world, social media is always talking to you. You're taking information in, you're taking stuff in that you don't realize you're taking in through every orifice that you can think of, your eyes, your ears, so you're taking it in. But I want you, for my last few minutes, to just consider the idea of I am. Not in an arrogance standpoint, but I am. Affirmations are things, statements that you can say to yourself over and over again that are powerful words that you put together. They're aimed to tap into your subconscious, because whether or not you know it, your subconscious mind is way more powerful than your conscious mind. And so when you start to say things like, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am chosen, I am a woman of strength, what I do matters, where I am right now matters, I bloom where I am planted, I decide what kind of day I'm gonna have, and nobody gets to change it. When you have in place things that you can say to yourself, because it's more important to talk to yourself than just to let stuff come in. When you have I am statements that you can say to yourself, they become very, very powerful in your mental health. In your mental health. So somebody again, unmute with some emphasis, with some belief. Give me one or two I am statements from you, from your down deep, so they mean something to you. I'm waiting.
Okay. I am wonderfully and beautifully made.
You are. Thank you. Go ahead, somebody else.
I actually just got back from a leadership conference this weekend, so I'm going to say I am a leader.
I am a leader. I can't see who said that. Was that Ms. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Alex? Good stuff. One more person. Deep, with conviction, like you really believe it.
I am enough.
Hey, girl, you better say that. Say it one more time. I don't see your face. Who said that?
Oh, it's me, Shiraz. I am enough.
Say it again, Shiraz.
I am enough.
Shiraz, go ahead and stand up and say it with some emphasis.
I am enough.
Shiraz, say it a little bit louder.
Louder?
Uh-huh.
I am enough.
You are enough, Shariah. Stop smiling and say it like you want to convict somebody that you believe it.
I am enough.
You guys, use affirmations as a powerful component of your arsenal against having a negative self-image, and to help you with your mental awareness. Because you know what? I'm the daughter of the Most High King. I walk in greatness because God don't make no junk. I greet each day as a fresh opportunity to be disciplined, live intentionally for excellence, and bring God glory. The foundation for my day is set by His word, because with Him, all things are possible. I am Raymond, who's my husband, greatest encourager. I speak His love language daily and make sure His castle is full of love, laughter, and well-rounded children. Teray, Tanaya, and Lloyd know by my actions that I'm their #1 fan. I play my part in creating $100,000 a month residually by constantly working on me, meeting new people, and using my God-ordained gifts. I purposely live my calling to encourage, equip, and empower women and young girls to bloom where they are planted and develop world-changing families. You see, this life that I live, this family that we've created, this church that I'm a part of building, oh, it speaks and it brings God glory, even from the grave. Do you think that your mental health will be a lot better if you talked to yourself? Thanks for letting me share, ladies.
Thank you.
Awesome. That was great. I thank you so much, Ms. Abernathy, aka Mom, for speaking with us and doing an extraordinary job as you do very well. I'll pass it over to Alexa to introduce our next speaker.
Okay, I'm so excited to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Letice Edgiston. Letice is a licensed professional counselor with over 25 years of experience in the mental health field. As a master level clinician, Letice works with diverse populations to provide insight and tools to live your best life. Founder and owner of Mosaic Counseling, she works with couples, families, and individuals striving for mental, behavioral, and emotional wellness. Please welcome Ms. Edgiston.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much to the wonderful and professional, as the first white mompreneur, Miss Tina said, to both of you leaders. Thank you for this invitation. It is so good to see so many people on who are investing in their next. So ladies, and maybe some gentlemen, I am so excited to be with you today. I got a long way to go in a short time, but this is very interactive. So I, like Miss Tina, are going to be asking some questions, and we'll be looking for some participation. Now, I will call people. You might not have a camera on, but I see all your names. And I am good for that. Because again, ladies, this is interactive, and I know we all have a lot to share. There's a lot of wisdom in this space, regardless of your age. So I am going to share my screen. Can you all see that? Yay. All right. The gift of mental health. And I just want to thank First White Mompreneur. I just love that. Miss Tina, First White Mompreneur. I was practicing, so because I got a little tongue twisted. I love that. And when we talk about, you were a perfect segue into my piece that I'm doing. When we talk about our thoughts, the Bible says, be renewed by the changing of your, right? We really are what we think, but we're going to talk a lot about that. All right. So I want to ask you, what is it? You've heard about what mental health is. I want you to think about, what is it that you expect? We know that mental health does not look like being happy every day. All right, I want to say that again. A lot of times we think mental health are a lot of different things. And also, let me just throw in, mental health and mental illness are two different things. We often, and you talked about stigma too, thank you for that. We often don't really address mental health because we align it with mental illness. Now, there are certainly correlations that are similar in both, but let me briefly talk about the difference. Mental health is your focus on your daily function of being well, just like everything else. Mental illness is where there is a hindrance in your ability to do that. And that is not anybody's fault. Let me be clear. Depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, any of those things, that is not that person's fault. That is a mental illness, which is a medical issue. That's a whole nother workshop. And see how I'm getting off track. So let me come back over here. So I want you to think about, what do you want mental health to look like for you? What is it that you're expecting? I gave some examples, because as we're talking, ladies, I really want you to think about this. Gentlemen, I really want you to think about this. Do you want to be more kind to yourself? Do you want to decrease some stress and anxiety? We all feel stress and anxiety. We might not have diagnosable anxiety disorders, but that's a part of life and living, that we experience those things. Is it that you want to be more intentional about how you take care of you? As a mom, I have a practice, I work at a school. I am the proud aunt of two kids who are on this call, young ladies, Miss Alexa Williams and Miss Alex Williams. I'm so proud of them. They're beautiful spirits. And I know all of you have people who love and adore you as well. So we are often focused on other people. How often do we really take care of ourselves? And that's more than getting your nails done and your hair done. So let me be clear about that. Also, not comparing yourself to others. Again, I'm a shout out First Wife Mompreneur about that social media. Yes, ma'am, I am over 30. And I do believe that you was preaching a word today. I'm gonna come back to that. They can't kick us off. They can't. That's snap. Yes, we're gonna talk about that. Okay, let's talk about what all things mental health. You see this graphic. So mental health is just not what you think. That's a huge part of it. But it is this wheel of all of these things that speak to our mental health. We see the physical, we see spiritual, environmental, emotional, intellectual, occupational, social, and financial. So I'm going to whip through these super quick and we're going to break these down. So let's talk about spiritual. And as as young people, I know that a lot of that relates to how you were raised, but you are hopefully in a season in your life that you're finding out what that means for you. That you're finding your own relationship is not really connected necessarily to your parents' relationship or other adults in your life, but prayer, meditation, spiritual practices like the fast. I'm gonna throw that back in there. I heard social media fast. That's still a spiritual practice. Sacred spaces. Are there spaces that are like your church is a sacred space, right? But there are sacred spaces in our homes too that are important where we can find quiet, we can find stillness, where we can do some prayer and meditation. And we could probably add more to the list, but that's spiritual wellness. Physical, of course. Now, this is what we hear more about, and I didn't include some, like eating. What are we eating? Are we mindful about the things we're putting in our body? Sleep. Students, are you getting enough sleep? Shoot. Adults, are you getting enough sleep? Exercising. How intentional are we about exercising? Just taking a walk, doing the things that we know really help us physically. Yoga is a beautiful, beautiful practice. We live in the world of YouTube. My God, it is a beautiful thing. Anything you want, need, could think of is on a YouTube. Go YouTube. Pop yoga, gospel yoga, Black women in yoga. It's all there. It doesn't necessarily have to look like one thing, but physically, these are things that help us to have to encourage and support our mental health. Environmental, this is not something we hear a lot about. Is your space safe? Comfortable? Does it inspire peace and joy? Do you see how all of these are connected to how we feel, to our mental health and wellness? All right. From the South, so I talk slow, so I'm really trying to speed this up socially. Okay, here we go. Do you see that second bullet? Let me start with the first. Positive support systems. So we are often at different stages in our lives, different seasons where people are coming and going. High school, college, there's spaces where we get to interact with a lot of people. These are opportunities. Who is inspiring you? Who's positive? Who is for you? Who is in your corner? Those are the people we want. There's some people that belong right here, and there's some people that belong over there. And that's so okay. But acknowledging and recognizing who those people are, it's important. Healthy social media interaction. Healthy social media interaction. I promise we didn't talk. I promise we didn't, right? So this is an issue, you guys. So it's okay to be connected. That's the world we live in, right? Is it healthy? Does it inspire you? Are you looking to see how many people liked your pictures or commented? Are you looking at other people's pictures and comparing yourself to them? If that's what it's becoming for you, just be aware of it and make a decision. This really isn't good for me. I can make a choice about that works better. Open and safe relationships. That's again, I could talk a whole hour about that. Open and safe relationships and being assertive in your communication. We have different communication styles. Some of us are passive, so we don't talk very directly people may not understand what we're saying because we're passive. We may be a little too aggressive where, you know, what you say, huh, what, huh? We a little aggressive, right? So where's the middle ground where we can respectfully and thoughtfully communicate, but be real clear in what we need to say financially, even as a student. Y'all, if you don't even have a job, folks getting stuff for their birthday and, you know, Christmas. What is us doing with that money, right? It starts even now. Being mindful of money management, saving, budgeting, and being financially responsible, especially college students and some high school students, as you are starting to work with money and manage money and maybe even have some bills. How responsible are you with that? Financial stress is one of the largest issues with mental health. I really want to be clear about that. It is so remarkably stressful. Okay. So emotional. This is often what we think about when we think about our mental health. Coping strategies. Our first white mompreneur talked earlier about kind of life is life. It happens. There are going to be some great days. There are going to be some really difficult, tough days. How do we show up on those tough days? How do you cope? What are your strategies? Do you have any strategies of how you're coping with those things? That's where your circle and a professional like me could assist you with how to do that. But we all need strategies, guys. We all need strategies. How do you manage your stress? Do you have self-awareness? Are you aware of how you show up in relationships and challenges and crises? How do you show up? I always say nothing is good or bad, it just is. It's not about good or bad. It just is. So how are you showing up? Not with judgment. You can own it. You can make a decision about that and move forward. And do you have compassion for you? Do you show yourself grace? Do you show yourself love when you are not your best self, when you are not making your best grades, when you may not make the best decisions? Are you able to show yourself some compassion and some grace? That's emotional wellness. Intellectually, being willing to expand your knowledge and improve yourself, spark your creativity, find a hobby, something that you love to do, exploring new ideas and experiences. All of these are things that expand our minds and that feeds us and that supports our emotional health. And finally, occupational. We could also put academic with this because this is our job. If you're a student, your academics are your job, right? Time management, oh my. That helps in your mental health. How is you managing your time? And I know it's not is you. I know we're in an academy, so I need to be mindful of grammar. So I know it's our. How is you managing your time? Do you have good boundaries around your time? Many of us, and if you're on this call, that means you are driven, you are focused on some things to invest in yourself. You got some parents and some supports that are different than many other young people. So that means you got your hand in some things. Do you know what you need? Do you have the awareness of what you need and how you need it? And that may be taking some time off and breaks. When you have a lot of academic commitments and responsibilities, how do you do with pacing yourself with that? I'm a graduate of the great Tennessee State University. And I tell you, Jesus himself gave me that degree because I was not always mindful about how to pace myself. And I was a procrastinator. And so I would let stuff just pile up. And this is before internet. And so you had to go to the library, get your books, get your stuff, do your reports. And so I would be in there all night, stay up all night and miss sometimes, I'm ashamed to say, my first class so that I could finish working to turn my assignments in for my next class. That's too much. That's too much. I know y'all didn't know that about me, but I did it because it was required, but gosh, it was so stressful and it was so unnecessary. Manage your time, have those boundaries, be aware of your needs, take time off. Okay. So again, I'm gonna shout out to the wonderful speaker before me. We are what we think. You think, you feel, you do. You think, you feel, you are. What are you thinking? So I want to show this very short video, and it is about positive self-talk. And again, it's in line with those affirmations that were spoken of earlier and the power of that. We are what we think. That was what was said. So I want to show this. Please let me know if you can hear this, okay? I'm about to start. Can you hear that? Can I hear that? Okay, hang on. Give me a sec. Can you hear me now? Can you hear that? Can you hear me?
We hear
Okay.
you.
All right.
We hear you, but not the video.
Not the video.
I think it's.
I can't believe this. I can't do anything right.
The car needs new brakes. This is going to cost so much.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Oh, we hear the video now.
Okay, let me do this. It went back to my, okay. I think.
Find anyone I want to go on
There
a
we
date
go.
with. I'll be single forever.
I should have gone to the gym today. I always make excuses.
Conversations in our minds are called self-talk. These internal dialogues can shape your beliefs and influence emotions and behavior. Repeated self-talk can eventually become what a person considers facts, even on a subconscious level. Positive self-talk reflects internal thoughts that provide you with assurance and motivation. You can use positive self-talk as a way to guide your decisions and tackle everyday challenges. Negative thinking, on the other hand, can detract from or distort your positive outlook. Negative thinking can lead to stress. Let's explore more about negative thinking. Some common patterns of negative thinking include personalizing and filtering. Personalizing is when you see yourself as the cause of all the bad things in your life. Filtering is when you focus on negative information and ignore positive information. These patterns of negative thinking often leave people feeling helpless, but with practice, people can continue to create more rational and positive thought patterns. One step in the process of focusing on positive self-talk rather than negative thinking is to check your thoughts. Whenever you recognize that you're thinking negatively, take a step back and consider how to reword things in a gentler or more positive way. Instead of saying, "I'm always late to everything, I'm so disorganized," say, "If I start using reminders and alerts regularly, I could really make my day run smoother." Positive self-talk is not self-deception. It is a way to find something positive when facing the ups and downs of each day. Some other ways to shift your thinking include surrounding yourself with positive people, exercising, and eating a healthy diet as directed by your physician. It is also important to be aware of situations, environments, and triggers that cause you to fall back on negative thinking. Whenever the opportunity arises, try to find humor to ease the tension. By training self-talk to be more positive, You will be able to manage stress more effectively. You may also experience less stress and an increase in motivation and self-confidence. It takes time, practice, and patience to train yourself to be effective in using positive self-talk. But when successful, it keeps your mindset balanced.
All right. Thank you for, and there we go. So I want to leave you with a couple of things. Just because you think it doesn't make it true. They are not facts just because they come in your mind. So I got a little homework for you guys, and I want you to write this down, put it in your phone. But what I really want you to do, guys, is I want you to think about, how are your thoughts helpful to you? I always do a think acronym, and I didn't include that, but I will share that with you. Think before you act, before you stay stuck in your thoughts. Think. T, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? What does it inspire? Something positive or something negative? N, is it necessary? And K, is it kind? Kind to others, but also kind to yourself. How are your thoughts helpful to you? Finally, how are you maintaining good mental health? If this is the gift of mental health, how do you give yourself that gift? And based on what you've heard in our time today, what do you need to change to improve your mental health? We all, me included, need to be mindful of things that we need to do differently to improve our mental health. And so what I'd like to do as I wrap up, I would love for you to either unmute or put in the chat. Now, I don't have anything to give you. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I don't have a gift or none of that. I'm gonna pray for you though. That's the good gift, right? I got that on lock for you. But I want you to put in the chat or talk a little bit based on what you've heard today from First Wife, Mompreneur, Miss Tina, and from myself. What will you commit to this week? This week, by the time next Sunday rolls around, what will you do to improve or maintain your mental health? So I want to see it in the chat as I give my thanks to you and I stop sharing my screen and come back. I love it. I see taking it easy on myself, Ms. Shiraz. I want you to find some ways of how you're going to do that, because there are some specific ways. The video talked about triggers. So there's some things that have a tendency to trigger us. So I want you to think about that. How are you going to do that? So thank you so much for that. Oh, yes, ma'am. I see you. The social media fast is the start. I love it. Continuing to get enough sleep. Yes, ma'am. Annalise, stop. Okay, Miss Janaya, I almost would have you come off mute and talk about that. That is one of the biggest pitfalls we find ourselves comparing ourselves to others. You will never be good enough because you can't really embrace you. It's not another Janaya. I don't even know you, but I can tell. And I see a beautiful face. There's nobody else like you. So yes, stop comparing yourself to others. And I love this, and allow myself the simple pleasures. Baby, you preaching today. The simple pleasures. I think sometimes we look for the big, right? And we are grateful for the big. But how many of you really know there's so many gifts in the small, right? So thank you for that. I might come back to you, Janaya. Pay attention to negative thoughts and replace them with positive words. That's my good friend there, Stephanie's iPhone. Being sure that I have balance between school, socials, and health. Thank you so much, Ms. Tanaya. Yes, ma'am. Balance and harmony is key. Think positively, working on time management so I don't stress myself out. Yes, Lexi, planning out my day so I don't get stressed. That time management again. We had that you are enough. Let's get shirts made. We are enough. We are enough. Improving my sleep schedule, making an effort to redirect my negative thoughts. I would really encourage you guys every week, make it a point to sit down and focus on what are you going to do this week. It may look different than last week. It may be the same, but your wellness, it all comes back to right here every time. Be renewed by the changing of your mind. Thank you so much, ladies. So appreciate, I'm sorry, be transformed by the renewing of your minds. Let me fix that. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Ms. Edgeston. I love you being here. I loved your presentation. You're amazing per usual. And thank you, Ms. Tina, for also speaking. I love you guys' presentations. You guys did an amazing job, and we're so honored for you guys to be speaking here. And I now want to open to the floor for any questions that anybody may have. And please, if you have any questions, just ask, unmute, or put it in the chat.
I don't have a question. Hello, everyone, but I just wanted to jump on really quick and just say, oh my God, thank you guys so very much for your time, for your information, for all of that. Loved all of that good stuff. And I just want to say thank you guys again. It was great.
I just want to challenge the ladies on here to write an affirmation statement. If you need some information on how to get started, reach out to Tanaya. I have a whole packet for you, and I'd love to bless you with it.
Anyone else? Any further questions, comments, or concerns to ask our panelists? Dr. Britt said something in the chat.
And ladies, there's no copay required for any questions today, so please take advantage.
Well, if there isn't, or if there are later, you all can text me or ask me for their information. I can surely get it to you. But I thank you all for my panelists and for your time that you have taken to give us a great word today. I want everyone to give them a round of applause, a virtual one or a real one. And we are so thankful for your participation today. And we greatly appreciate you taking the time.
And Tanaya, I do want to make sure I ask one question. What words, or I would say suggestions, you have to people, because a lot of people are talking about the need for counseling. And so what are your thoughts on that, particularly post-pandemic and just with the state of the world right now? Just your thoughts. And that's a question for both.
Both the panelists?
That's a great question. I'm so glad that you answered it, or that you asked. You know, I believe wholeheartedly in counseling. I think the counseling, when you get not even to your wits end, but when you feel like you've done all you can do, I believe counseling is definitely needed. I also believe counseling combined with the word of God and understanding who you are can take you mighty far. And there's a word called nouthetic counseling. And again, if you need resources, I'm definitely available to assist that. But yes, I believe in counseling, seeking professional help.
And I would just add to that, oftentimes people will say, well, how do you know when you need counseling? I think you need counseling when you begin to ask the question, do I need counseling? I think it's important, particularly if you're a student, typically there are resources on campus that can be a support. I think it's also important for you to get support from the adults that you know have your best interest at heart, and get their support of how to find the best therapist. You do want someone that you have good rapport with and that you have some awareness of how they practice. And so I think it's very important, just like if you're hurting and you go to the doctor, if you have any emotional pieces, we always think I should just know how to do this, but you don't know what you don't know. And so there are people and places for you to get that support so you don't have to struggle. A lot of times we suffer unnecessarily, and that's not God's plan for us. And we have resources, so I encourage us to do just that.
Might I add that when you, because remember, we're talking about mental, physical, and others, internal, external, and others. And when you no longer are able to get out of bed, when you're sleeping 10 hours a day, and that's not your normal flow, and mentally you are cloudy and things of that nature, and that is time to seek help with a counselor, just like Dr. Eggleston said. And there's no shame in that. And in our community, there should be no shame in that. And you're not less than, you're not weak, you're not, enough just because, don't think that you're not enough when you need help. A woman of strength is a woman that knows when she needs assistance. That is a sign of strength.
That's right. Amen.
Can I chime in again, ladies, just real quick? I would like to say that it is so helpful, I believe, in our community to speak out about when we are receiving help in a professional manner, just when we're talking about it leisurely. I think when we hide it, or we don't speak of it, or it's not part of our conversation with our girls, or I just think it stays under the cover. Like if it's something wrong with it, it's something wrong with me, and that stigma tends to continue. But when it's a part of the conversation, our daily conversation, I'll say to my girls often, I said, yeah, last week when I was talking to my therapist, blah 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 blah, because it is a part of my life. It is a part of what I'm currently participating with. So, and I'm not ashamed of that, and I don't want them to be ashamed if that's an avenue that they have to take. So, I just want to encourage, especially our more seasonal ladies, that if that is something that you have experienced, are experiencing, or just have a belief, to make that a part of our conversations, so it's easier for our younger ladies to feel more comfortable. That's it.
Thank you. And thank you all for attending and participating in our mental health symposium. Oh, did somebody else have something to say?
Yeah, I just was trying to speak from sorry about that tonight. But I was trying to speak from another point of view because I actually am in therapy, and my mom also is in therapy as well, because we are both very similar people and we bump heads a lot, and you get it. So, but just to give like the people my age, like, do not be ashamed Do not feel like there has to be something wrong. Like, of course, I went due to my own personal illnesses and personal issues, but also, like, you need a different point of view. You need someone to talk to. You need someone to tell you when you're wrong. You need someone to tell you when you're overwhelmed, when you're overthinking, because when you only have your thoughts in your head, you're going to assume that every single negative thought is correct, and that's just not true. So when you have someone who can just say, take a step back and just, remind you that, that you're not wrong. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to be like, it's okay to still feel overwhelmed, but just to have someone to bring you back down and remind you that it's normal to have those thoughts. So I recommend, just if you attend Tennessee State University, our counseling center is great here. Take advantage. It's free. Like, please, like, definitely. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for sharing, Janiyah.
And there was, if I may, there was a question in the chat. Lexi, I think you were going to speak to that. Shiraz asked about the stigma. Why is there such a stigma? And I think that's just such an important question. And what I'm encouraged by is we're seeing that decrease. I think COVID has done a lot. The civil unrest and the stress in our communities with racial violence that has come out more on the mainstream has, I think, pushed us to really be more accepting. But I think there's such a stigma because in Western society, there's such a stigma, period. But in the Black and Brown communities, historically, we've never had permission to feel. And so it is not something that is what we go to, what we've been taught, and I think conditioned to do is to kind of pick up and move on. We don't have time to fall apart. Hear me, air quote, fall apart. We have to feed families. We have to do these things to survive. We don't have time to take care of those things. And of course, Jesus fixes everything, because faith without works is not dead. If you just turn it over to God, he's going to fix it. And so some of that is an out. And we know our God is the God of the impossible. But there are some things that we need to do for our well-being. Again, we can't physically know what's going on and heal ourselves. So emotionally and mentally, there's the same thing. So that's a full out conversation and mistrust of the system. A lot of times people just don't trust. A lot of people still don't believe, you don't talk about your business in the street, and what goes on in this house stays in this house. So there are a lot of mentalities and ways of thinking that keep people stuck. And I tease clients all the time when I have conversations. I said, the worst people to counsel are Black folks and Christians. That's the worst people to counsel, talk about medication or mental health pieces. And of course, that's not all the way true, but we struggle. Those are two communities that really struggle with the issues of mental health and mental illness. So not to belabor the point, but that's a whole conversation in and of itself. Great question, Shiraz.
Go ahead, Alexa.
Okay. I just wanted to thank our panelists again. Sorry, my screen just went weird. I just wanted to thank our panelists again for speaking and being here today. I'm so proud of all of them, and I'm so proud of everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something about mental health that you didn't know before. And I just want to thank everybody again for joining here. We too appreciate it. Okay, and I would like to pass it to Dr. Brown if she has anything she wants to say.
I would like to just ask everyone to please give a virtual round of applause. We host this event every year. Why? Because it's needed and it's powerful. And I think all of you can agree. It was timely. Our speakers were on fire and they said what we needed to hear. And when we begin to have these conversations, we know that it's important to heal ourselves because we're worthy, we matter, and we are created for a purpose. And guess what? There are going to be distractors, right? But when we promote good mental health, we can see all past that and put on our blinders and stay focused on what we were created and called to do. And I am just excited about this. As you know, we incorporate mental health throughout. And I know that our scholar Tanaya is going to be sharing an upcoming event, but this is not the last. This is integrated throughout all of our work. So we're going to be having, in addition to our dynamic keynote speakers this year, next we're going to have opportunities for you to practice some skills that you may find beneficial in your day-to-day life. And the other thing that I was inspired to do sitting on here this evening is I would love to challenge all of our KYB leaders to create a positive affirmation that we can put on our social media pages, because we have to be the change that we seek. And if these people all around can hear us putting positive affirmations in the universe, maybe the words that you put on that are going to be the only words of affirmation that somebody hears that day. And you might actually change somebody's life by putting something as simple as you matter, you are worthy, you are enough, all the different affirmations. So I am personally going to reach out to our first wife mompreneur, and we're going to get some of those affirmations. Then I'm going to take all the affirmations that you all send me, and I'm going to share them with both of our keynote speakers, right? Because we do this because we learn, but then we also apply. Lastly, can you all just give a round of applause, because what you saw today is the power of collaboration and the essence of what KYB Leadership Academy was about. Alexa is a high school student in KYB, and Tanaya is a college student in KYB. And you saw mentorship in action. You saw excellence. And there was a lot of work and practice and prep that went into this, but that is why we are here as KYB Leadership Academy, to work together. And listen, I saw excellence tonight, and I am so proud of both of you all. I'm proud for all of our KYB leaders for being here. Janiyah, I am proud of you for having the courage to share your story with us, because guess what? Other people need to know that it is okay to be okay. And so we love you for, I call it the power of vulnerability to share, because that's what we got to do in our community, right? So I'm going to hush, but I just want to say thank you. As you know, this event is named in honor of my late mother, and it's always organized by the scholars of KYB. So it is truly a heartfelt evening, and you all have set the bar very high. I don't know what we're going to do next year, because the bar is off the charts this year. Thank you all again. I will turn it back over to Tanaya, who I know is going to do some closing remarks. If you know any amazing leaders in your community that are interested in committing to programs like this, I know that Alexa, Tanaya, and the other scholars would love to meet them. So thank you all again. From my family to yours, have a beautiful evening.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. So yes, Dr. Brown mentioned another upcoming event, which will be September 16th. It is our RBWPH Awareness Mental Yoga session. That address will be sent on the flyer. So we will be posting that, let's say this evening, might as well. This evening, the flyer will be posted on the KYB Leadership Academy Instagram page. There you can get the address, time. It is a free session. I am advising that everyone, when I say everyone on here, I want to see you. I want to see everyone on here there in person, taking pictures, participating, actually taking actions and implementing what we just learned about on the Zoom call. So if you have any questions, I will put my number in the chat. You can always text me. I can send you updates and reminders, and just be looking for that flyer on the KYB Leadership Academy Instagram page. It's here in Nashville. Promise you, you can get there. All right, I thank both panelists. You all were amazing. I appreciate you willing to say yes and give us some wisdom of words. So yeah, thanks. Bye, everyone. You all have a great evening.
Bye, everyone. And our first winner of the giveaway was Janaya. We saw your social media post, so you are the recipient of that Amazon gift card.
And Janaya, you also get a gift card.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ladies. Bye-bye.